I'm going to call this the resource episode. I wanted to talk about all the places that I go for information on finance and money management. And there'll be links below to all these great sites and programs. Okay, first, David Rubenstein. He's the co-founder of the Carlyle Group. And that's primarily a private equity firm, which we discussed in episode 25 what those are. And they have about $426 billion under management. David is an excellent interviewer, and his two main interview shows, one on Bloomberg and the other is the Economic Club of Washington, has guests from a wide variety of people in finance and government and entertainment. And all the interviews are really great, but check out his outstanding July interview with Jerome Powell and you'll get a better sense of how the Fed works. And speaking of which, the Federal Reserve website is a really terrific resource for learning about money and how the Fed operates. And if you happen to be in Chicago, the Money Museum, which is located in the Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago, is an absolute must while you're visiting the Windy City, and it's free. USA Facts. Former CEO of Microsoft Steve Ballmer is the host of this terrific series of videos on the economy, immigration, healthcare, and all other topics, and it's driven by government data. And he just presents the facts in a really clear and concise way. And this series would really be mandatory viewing in college. Next, anything from Warren Buffett. The Make Me a Millionaire program, which I discussed right in the beginning of this series in episode 1, is an adaptation of something I read in Warren's book, The Snowball. And by the way, the snowball is Warren's metaphor to describe how the magic of compound interest works over time. Now, Warren famously made a bet in 2007 that a simple $1 million investment in a low-cost S&P 500 index fund would beat any fancy hedge fund over a decade. And spoiler alert, he won, and I repeat that same advice in this series. Perplexity. This AI search tool was created in 2022 and it aims to provide more accurate results by showing where the information it's delivering was sourced. You can upload PDFs and ask it to review and summarize them or simply check for grammar. I use it to review every script of Sunday Money for accuracy. Now, no AI is perfect, and when Perplexity says something is inaccurate, I always follow it up with a separate search to confirm the information is correct. It's really streamlined my writing. And finally, let's talk about coffee. I love a good cup of espresso, and there is no one better on the internet to explain all the nuances of coffee and espresso than James Hoffman. I follow all of his machine reviews and scientific explanations of how and why coffee tastes good or bad. My episode about blooming coffee in a cheap coffee machine is really just an adaptation of something James talked about on how to make a great pour of a coffee. Okay, that's all I have for this week. Check the links below and we'll see you next Sunday.